Well, hello everybody. This is Sreenath from Intentwise. Excited about this webinar. We'll get this rolling in just a minute or so. We are just waiting for a few more folks to dial in. In the meantime, I'm just going to share my title slide, so you guys and Vaibhav, you can just message me on Slack if something does not look okay. Awesome. Just give me another 5 seconds here and we'll get this rolling. Okay, well, hello everybody. Just quick introduction. I'm Sreenath Reddy, one of the founders here at Intentwise. Excited to be hosting this webinar. I actually we switched from Zoom webinars to StreamYard. Today is my first StreamYard webinar. I think I have got this down, but if there's any hiccups, just be patient. I'm sure we'll quickly recover. But excited to be here. The topic, of course, is first-party data and integration of first-party data into AMC. We'll talk about use cases, the process, and also what have we done to simplify this for advertisers. So quickly, in terms of agenda, like I said, a review of process. We'll get a little bit technical here. Use cases. We'll do a live demo of what we have rolled out to simplify this process for you. And we'll also have some time for Q&A. I think in the comment section, you can feel free to just ask questions along the way. And it should be a pretty short presentation from my end, so we can spend a bit more time on Q&A. I will also be joined later on, depending on the questions, by our lead engineer, Ramesh, but you'll see him shortly. But before we dive into today's topic, a little bit about Intentwise, what are we trying to do here? We are a technology platform. And if I were to state our goal, the context of what we do here is important. The context really is the likes of Amazon and Walmart are sharing more and more data than ever before, especially over the last 18 to 24 months. I think we have reached this inflection point of where the game of playing in these channels has to be very, very data driven. And in that context, we see our goal as one of enabling and empowering brands and agencies, and giving them the ability to really harness all this growing data and use that to optimize channel performance. So that's our goal. And in that context, we make a ton of investments in building out the tech platform and the products. Today, we have 3 core products. Just quick summary on each of those. Intentwise Analytics Cloud. Think of it as your data plumbing. Whether you're a brand or an agency, we are automatically collecting all of the critical data from these platforms. You don't have to maintain API connectivity. We take care of that for you. And then what we give you is either comprehensive data pipelines that feed your internal data stores and data warehouses, or we can house that data on our end, and the solution automatically integrates with any of your existing reporting tools, or we have embedded insights and dashboards within the platform. So that's Intentwise Analytics Cloud. Intentwise Explore, which we will dig into today under the context of one use case, is something we have built in collaboration with Amazon. It sits on top of AMC, and it's designed to really accelerate your usage of AMC. And last but not least, this is our original product, which is Intentwise Ad Optimizer. This is where It's a platform designed to help you optimize search advertising and DSP. Um, but what makes it different is the underlying data infrastructure that we have in place. Um, and yeah, so and they can all operate together, or they can operate independently as well. Um, so that's a little bit about our tech stack, tech solutions. Um, but let's dive into today's topic, which is first party data, right? My assumption here is whoever is here understands what first party data is, but a quick primer on it. If I'm an advertiser or a brand, all of the information I have, whether it's on my shoppers or newsletter subscribers or what have you, um, emails, phone numbers, addresses, all of that is considered first party data, right? How does let me just walk you through what a process looks like as an advertiser if you want to upload first party data into AMC. The step one is to actually get your first party data into a format. Let's just call it a flat file with all of the information in it. I'm going to walk you through specific examples of what that could look like in a moment. But once you have that information ready, step two is you hash it. Hash, in other words, um, it's, let's say an email ID is converted into this long string of alphanumeric characters. Um, and Amazon actually gives you a mechanism to hash the data. Once hashed, then you upload to AMC. Once uploaded to AMC, what AMC does is it looks at the records and sees, okay, I know this person, this is a shopper with user ID ABC. I know this other person, I don't recognize this person. So it goes through what is called a matching process. And in the end, each record is assigned a user ID. For those of you familiar with AMC, every dataset, every table within AMC has what is called a user ID. That is the one field that strings everything together. And that user ID also gets assigned to the first party data you upload. And that's what helps us join your first party data with all the AMC data. Okay. So that's how the process works today. It's a little bit technical, right? But this is where what we have built comes in. But I'll touch on that in a few minutes. Um, the let's kind of dive into details here in each of these steps with specific examples. By the way, obviously AMC is a vast subject area. We have built out a pretty comprehensive learning hub, and I was seeing who the attendees are. There's agencies, there's brands. Vaibhav, can you go ahead and share the learning hub URL? I suggest you kind of follow this page, see the content on it, whether it's for you or your team members. It's a combination of content from use cases to tips to simplify usage of AMC or how to build AMC adoption within your organization. Go ahead and follow that link and keep tabs on it as we update content there. But let's go through this process in a bit more detail. So data prep. This is what a file could look like, right? So a file can have what is called personally identifiable information. I've got 3 columns. There's about 8 attributes that are supported. First name, last name, email. And then the custom fields, which this is something you have to pay attention to. This can be whatever you choose them to be. And what you have as custom fields will help you join with other data sets in AMC. So you can choose what you want these to be. These are just what I have here is the 3 examples. Bought in the last 6 months, what was the last ASIN bought, or you may have some sense of customer value, high, medium, low, and you may want to go after high value customers a certain way. But there's no limit to these custom fields, and it's about just strategizing a little bit and figuring out what fields could be valuable for you, right? But this is what a prepared data file could look like. And then what happens is you have to go through a hashing process. Now, Amazon gives you a little library you can use, but this is also something we have simplified in the solution we have built. But what hashing does is it turns each of the PII information into this uh, 256-bit encrypted alphanumeric string. Um, this is what you have to do on your end, and then you upload to AMC. The AMC uploads without the Intentwise solution will have to be done in a couple of ways. One, you have API access and you can use API to upload, or two, there's an AWS package. It's again, you need to understand some technical nuances of how to use AWS. There's an AWS first party uploader capability as well. Those were the two options before we built what we built today, that I'm going to show you today. But this is hashing. But once the hash file is uploaded, first of all, again, like I said, AMC goes through the matching process. It drops all the PII information, and wherever it finds a match, it assigns a user ID. And where it doesn't find a match, those records are purged. Okay, so in the end, you end up with a table with a set of records and a user ID assigned on them. No PII information stays around in your AMC uploaded tables. So, that's what the matching process looks like. Just FYI, we've been doing this for a little bit. We have seen match rates, from 40% into, in some cases, 90% match rates. So the match rates all depend on, of course, the nature of your business, your first party shoppers versus Amazon. It's going to vary depending on the type of business you are. A quick note on the supported PII fields. There's about 8 fields that are supported. Obviously, emails and phone numbers can really increase match rate. In theory, you could upload without that data, but your match rates generally will be lower if you did that. But these are the supported PII fields. Okay. Housekeeping item, just go ahead and kind of keep entering your questions in the comment section. I'll pick those up as soon as I'm done here. So here's a list of PII fields. And then what happens is whatever you upload shows up as a table. You can give it the name you want and all the custom attributes. The key here is that user ID field, right? This is your uploaded first party data table within AMC. It shows up in your advertiser uploaded section of AMC. On the left are your standard tables. But really the point I'm trying to make is now that you have user ID, you can join them and then ask all kinds of questions and frame all kinds of audiences, right? Let me pause here for a moment. Let me see if there's any questions. Give me one moment. Let me just check. Any questions so far? Vaibhav, none yet, I assume. Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. Let's keep going. All right, so use cases, why should you be doing this? Again, as it has been the case with AMC, the use cases are limitless. I am hopefully going to whet your appetite with some use cases that we are already executing on, or have clients have expressed interest in. Broadly speaking, AMC use cases fall into 2 buckets. What insights can you get, which is what questions can you answer that you couldn't answer before? And then what audiences can you design so you can further optimize your media spend? I've listed them all. I'm not going to read each one, but the point is on the insight side, like this now becomes a mechanism to understand this overlap between your, let's say, D2C shoppers and Amazon shoppers. We have had an advertiser that wanted to understand the impact of their own newsletter. They have a sizable newsletter of their own, and what is that doing to Amazon sales? We have a lot of interest in understanding, like, what is the purchase behavior on D2C versus Amazon. These are all the types of questions you can answer. Again, we are only limited by our imagination on the insight side. And then the audience side, there's a few things you can do, right? Assuming that you have some rich custom attributes and fields, targeting shoppers who bought specific products a certain way. So you could do that. Um, you may have customers that are shopping with you a lot, and you may want to exclude your DSP campaign exposure, exclude that audience from your DSP campaign exposure to drive further incrementality. You could do that. Lookalike audiences is something that the AMC console supports. Once you upload your first party data, you can, request and ask for lookalike audiences. Again, you're not limited to these. I wanted to share like a few examples on each. And the way this has been working for us is, as we work with clients, like, again, use cases have nuances of their businesses. So uh, as a team, one of the things we do besides just providing the tech platform is we can help you custom craft queries, custom craft audiences based on your specific needs. um, with that, I'm going to switch gears and actually do a live demo of the capability we have built. um, But before I do that, though, I want to just quickly set the context of what problem are we really trying to solve with the capability we have built. I walk you through what a first party upload process looks like. And without the Intentwise solution, you could do this. Um, get your file ready. You need to have API access to AMC to push this uh, hash data up to AMC, or you can use the AWS uploader. It's got a bunch of technical nuances associated with it. Um, what we are trying to do is we are trying to dramatically simplify this, because vast majority of folks working with Amazon ads um, either don't have the technical capability, or this could all be cumbersome, right? And our goal is, whether you're a brand or an agency, how do we give you the simplest mechanism to upload your first party data and take the technical nuances and pain off the table, right? That's exactly what we have done, or at least aim to do. And hopefully it becomes clear as I demo the platform. Let me pause again for 1 second, see if there's any questions again. Um, Again, just whoever is in the audience, please, um, put your questions in the comment section, and I'll take them at the end. Ramesh, there's a question here. Do you have a hasher you recommend? I'll let you take that. It's SHA 256 is what Amazon expects. But Ramesh, this is a little about my pay grade. I'll let you take that question. Any recommendation on hasher? Maybe you just put it in the comment. But we'll pick this back up um, after my demo is done. Okay, let me Caitlin, about the question about the hasher, we're happy to follow up on this as well. But yeah, let me share my screen now, and we can dive into. Sorry, there's one more question. Let me. Hey, Pat, how are you? The question here, as you all can see, I'm sure the answer is depend, but have you found a best practice cadence for how often a brand should be uploading 1P data for matching purposes? Good question. I just think that it's a function of how rapidly the 1P data actually changes for the brand. So I don't know that there is a set number that applies to everybody, but if that data is not changing a lot, then bi-weekly, monthly is okay. But if you've got like massive changes there, I mean, you could do it as frequently as you want. Appreciate the question, Pat. Let's see what else. Okay, well, we'll come back. Let me dive in, show you our goods here. I'm excited to be showcasing the new capability that Ramesh and team have built. Sharing screen again. Okay. Right, here's Intentwise Explore. Some of you may have already seen this. I mean, I'm not going to cover all the capabilities within Intentwise Explore today. We'll, of course, just focus on first party data. But the way to think about what we have built is extensive query libraries, scheduling of queries, ability to apply a ton of filters on the queries and audiences, embedded insights, piping the outputs of these queries into your data store so you can visualize things in your reporting tools, um, managing of additional tags and metadata. For example, some of the larger brands have a ton of sub brands, and you've got campaigns with naming conventions, and you want all the outputs to reflect that sub brand classification. We have actually built those capabilities within the platform. Um, but we'll save a detailed demo of AMC for another time. I'm going to dive into our first party upload capability. For existing users, you'll now see a new tab called Data Upload. You go there, and by the way, it's the same upload function both for PII information, first party information, or any custom data upload. Like I'd mentioned earlier in the call, any uploaded data becomes a table in AMC. So these are all your list of uploads you have done in the past. Let's go ahead and create a new table. And here's our workflow. I'm going to give this a name. Intentwise demo before Prime Day. By the way, I hope you're all ready for Prime Day. But let's go with this name for now. I'm going to pick my instance. Again, if you're an agency, you may have lots of instances. You'll have to pick one. If you're a brand, it's just one instance. It's already selected by default, usually. And then you say, hey, my upload has PII information. Again, the reason why you see this is because we built this to support PII uploads or non-PII uploads. So let's go with yes. Country is important. Not selecting country really drops match rate. So make sure you select the country of the audience your first party data you're uploading. And then the date column indication is important. Like with and without date or date time adds quite a bit of complexity. So it's important to choose, hey, does the upload file have a date or a date time, or it doesn't have anything? Let's go with has date only. I'm going to stick to this format, but you can pick different formats here. Once you do this, you move forward. And now it's time to upload your first party file. Right? I hit browse. I've got the files ready. I'm just going to say, hey, here's my store sales first party data for the last 12 months. And I say open. What the system then does is recognizes all the columns. Here's all the columns in the file you've uploaded. This is actually your chance to change some column names if you have to, because those are the columns that will appear in the table that will show up in AMC, as well as descriptions. And you have to just go through the process of assigning data types, right? So please bear with me here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's first PII first name, PII last name, PII email, purchase date without time. And you'll see that you have to indicate a primary date column in anything you upload. The current file just has one, so that's selected by default. Phone number, address, and then the number of purchases is just a numeric string, could be large, so I'll just go with large number. So that's how you set your data types, and then you hit next, and you check your table name. You've got one last chance to do something with your table name. I wouldn't go with these long names because you have to use those tables in your queries. Try to keep them short but meaningful, and then hit submit. That's about it. So what happens now behind the scenes is your file is uploaded, fully encrypted, PII information is hashed, and then the Intentwise Explore platform will upload that to AMC. Usually takes about 24 hours for this whole thing to be done, oftentimes sooner. But when you are done, it shows up right there. So it's still in progress, but it shows up right there. And any file that's already uploaded and the process is done, you can actually go in here and see, of course, you can see what the schema is in case some queries have to be written from scratch. You can also see upload history where we track match rates. So in this case, about 90,000 records were uploaded, about 41,000 matched with a match rate of 46%, right? So all the metadata around any upload is right there, including the schema of the table for you, right? So that's how an existing uploaded table looks like. The other thing that happens is the Pat asked the question, how often do you refresh? There's a need to refresh, as in you may not want to do a full refresh, you want to append the data, right? We support that workflow as well. So you could go ahead and say, okay, I want to take this in-store sales data and upload file, and let's just hit upload CSV, and let me pick this guy here. And then when I go to the next screen, I actually have an option to choose, am I appending or am I doing a full replace, right? You can choose and then hit submit. So that's how ongoing uploads work. Now, today you have to come back here and upload a file. And today what we are supporting is a local file upload mechanism, but in very short term, what we are going to add is, a bit more automation. We could integrate with data sets in S3. That's in the roadmap. There is this, for those of you that may be familiar with the customer CDP, or customer data platform, customer data management space, there's a term that is used called zero copy, where the idea is that nobody is touching any files or records to upload. But you can come in here, connect to your system, frame up a query, and we pull data automatically, right? Those are all coming in the near future. We'll continue to build on the automation around this, because PII just requires a lot of data security focus. The less people touch it, the better, right? Again, keep posting your questions in the comments. I'll pick them up when I'm done. But this is how, honestly, this is how uploads work. But once an upload happens, you will, even in the AMC console, you can go into the advertiser uploaded section. You have all this data sitting there. And all kinds of queries and audiences can be built after this. I'm going to switch back to my deck and talk about a couple of important things. When we talk first-party data, a big emphasis and focus has to be on data security and data privacy. So a few points I want to call out, right, in terms of what we are doing in this regard. First of all, anything uploaded to Intentwise Explore is actually always encrypted. Nobody has access to it. And the PI information is hashed according to what Amazon has defined as the standard that they expect. After upload to AMC, all files are purged from Intentwise Explore. So we're not storing anything. Now, AMC also, as I've already stated, once the matching process happens, the hashed PI information is all purged, and all the records that don't match are also purged. And then the other thing I want to add is, I know there's a number of agencies on the call here today, right? If you're working with a brand and brand wants to go check this out, it's not in your interest for brand to be handing you this data set, and it's messy business. There are laws against around all of this and compliance. So one of the capabilities we have built, so as an agency, you don't have to touch that data, is you can allow a brand user access to come in and upload the data themselves, so you don't have to deal with it or touch it. Okay, so that's something that is already built into Intentwise Explore, because we understand the intricacies and the privacy necessities around this. So for any of the agencies on the call, we have already baked in that capability. Yeah, so I think we rolled this out not too long ago. We've got great adoption. We continue to learn. We work closely with the Amazon team. As a team, we probably raise more tickets than anybody else with the Amazon AMC dev team. But I think we are in a good place. But I will also admit there's just a lot more to do. But I think that we're now at a place where there's a lot more possibilities that have just opened up for whoever is using the Intentwise Explore platform. Um, I'm going to switch, get into Q&A in a moment, but a quick note on how Intentwise approaches the AMC offering, right? AMC is one of those things where just having canned dashboards, canned reports, uh, is not going to cut it because the moment you show a report or see a report, you have 10 more questions. So the way we have approached the um, AMC offering is Intentwise Explore is the tech component of our offering. Okay, it dramatically simplifies a number of things. But we don't just stop there. We also provide services on top that could include, hey, I want some custom queries written that don't exist in any of the libraries already. Or look, I have some questions around this first party stuff. How do I best deal with it? What custom attributes make the most sense? So that consultative help is part of our service. And last but not least, like we continue to educate and train people around AMC and SQL. If on the topic of SQL, it helps to know SQL if you're leveraging AMC. We even have an on-demand free module on our website. Vaibhav, actually go ahead and share that link also, where if you can go to Intentwise and resources, you will see learning SQL link. Go through that, get your team members to do it. It's super helpful to know SQL if you want to make the most out of AMC. But it is these three things that make up our offering around AMC, and all of this is designed to just accelerate your adoption, accelerate the value you're extracting from AMC. With that, I've got a few links here. Vaibhav, go ahead and share some of the links in the comments also. But you've got my email. If you have any questions, hit me. LinkedIn or LinkedIn is a great place as well. I'm pretty active there. With that, I would love to see what more questions have come our way and take them. Give me one moment. Let's see. Any more questions from the audience? Vaibhav has just shared our newsletter link as well. I think many of you are already followers, but again, our big focus with our newsletter is to keep it super educational. So feel free to sign up. I promise we won't disappoint. So let's see. Any more questions from the audience? And one more thing, I mean, if there's someone here that doesn't have an AMC instance, but you are managing DSP spend, you have search ad spend, we can help you get your AMC instances set up. So just FYI. Vaibhav, any other questions on any other channel? Just curious. Okay. Let's give it another 5-10 seconds here and then we can call it done. I know you're all prepping for Prime Day. Wish you well next week. Yeah, I don't think there's any more questions. But yeah, you know how to get a hold of us. Thank you for your time and attention. And we would love for you to test out the capability we have rolled out. So we've got a bunch of links have been shared. Happy to work with you. But that's about it. And until next time, take care and see you all soon.